Great-Grandfather's Money by Angeline Williams. Read by Frank Blissett. In the old time there was much gold coin. Now there is none. Now only that alloy is plentiful. When I was 10 years old was when I last saw gold. There was a lot of it. One of my great-grandfathers had a lot of it. Some of that gold was in bars. He was given it in payment when he helped in the removal of the Maumees. They were bad thieves. That is why they were taken away. They acted as if they owned everything that belonged to other people. And yet they had everything, farm animals and everything. Also, their houses were fine, of very fine appearance. In the same way, when they went fishing and set out seines, they acted as if they owned the nets which were other people's property, when they went to fish. So then they consulted as to what they would do about them. They were too thievish. There was a certain chief of the Maumees. He was never convicted when they prosecuted him at law. He was very shrewd. He had very many adherents. So then they decided that they must needs be removed from there. Everybody here will live in disorder. The people who lived there were glad. Then a big steamboat arrived. Then that big chief of the Maumees was tricked. Your papers from the government have come. So then he started out to go there to the building. Then, as he walked along, he was shot. Only then were they all brought to law. To be sure, there was one man who held almost the position of their chief. However, he did not win. So now they were told to go away. You will be paid the value of your possessions. Each one was given a big sum of money. More than one woman who had given birth to a child the night before was made to get up and put on board the boat, the steamboat. Some who prized their horses took them along there aboard the steamboat. Then the horses were taken from them and driven back home. Later on, there where you are going, you will buy a horse for yourself, they were told. So then some young men grieved for their animals. Then they were all brought on board. They were taken far to the south. So then they finished that affair. My great-grandfather helped there. His name was Biidaasigekwe. That was where he got very much money, many thousands. Some of it was in the form of metal bars. The metal was marked only with the value, how many hundred each one was worth. This was his pay for helping there. He was the one who had summoned that Maumee when they killed him. Those whom he helped had quickly concealed him. That was where he got all that money. Then, after a while, people forgot about him. So then he went away from there. He went to Beaver Island. That was where he went. For quite some time he lived there on the island. After a time, "Come now, let us cross over, let us go to the mainland," he told them, as many families as there were of them. So then they ferried across. All he did was to lie there and smoke, and his children would come and ask him for what things he wanted, such as farm animals or boats or whatever they wanted to use. They had very handsome animals. I am always much afraid. I have too much money about me." He took only one of his sons with him. They went to a little island. He was busy a long time making some big quantity of cedar chests and setting them one inside the other. I don't know how many cedar chests. Into them he put his money. Then he took it away. He said, "No one is to see me when I go." Really, there was a fog such that everything looked as if it were dark night. So then he crossed over. The little island was nearby. There he took his money and made a cache. He dug a pit. There were rocks there, rising to a considerable height. There he placed it. He put a guiding mark on one cedar tree. "Let it always lie here. Let no one ever find my cache." Then they crossed back. He had kept out a great amount of it to use for a long time to come. He lived to a great age. Then at one time he fell ill. Then he died. His son, who had gone along with him, lived only 1 month longer. Then he too died. So now no one knew that cache. All they knew was the name of that island. The Indians called it Chicken Island. That was where he had buried the treasure of gold. To be sure, even now they look for it. No one has ever found it. The last was when he had put it away. To be sure, that son of his, before he died, had said, "If I had the strength to go there, I should find that money which we put away there. You will find that cedar tree growing there. That cedar tree is a guiding mark." He said it in the morning. By noon he was dead. To this day no one has found it. That is the story my grandmother told. He was my grandmother's father. Now they are all dead. Perhaps if some white person seeks carefully, perhaps he will find it, they said. That is all. That was Great-Grandfather's Money by Angeline Williams. Read by Frank Blissett.